What's up, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Powerhouse Mentality podcast. I'm your host. I'm Caitlin Kenneth Smith. And on today's episode, it's a solo episode, and we're going to talk all about the mission behind the Powerhouse Mentality, the reasoning for the brand, and all about Make America Mentally Tough Again. Recently, we just released our Make America Mentally Tough Again t-shirts. And they are coming off of our Make America Mentally Tough Again hats. And I've been getting a lot of questions like, obviously, so many people associate Make America Mentally Tough Again. They think about Make America Great Again. And I want to differentiate those two things because this movement isn't political in any way, shape, or form. Making America Mentally Tough Again is something that's been a mission of mine for so long. And it's one of the reasons why I coach people. It's one of the reasons why I push myself every single day to limits that are very uncomfortable. And why I create content is because I want to help make America mentally tough again. And in this episode, I want to help you guys understand what that truly means, what it actually means to be mentally tough, and how we can tie this mission into our own life to become a better version of ourselves, because that's really what this podcast is all about. I'm here, I'm talking to you, or I have somebody else on the podcast and they're talking to you about their story, about their experiences, and it's all with the same mission to make you a better person and to really show you that you can do incredible things. And one of the best ways to do incredible things is to be mentally tough. If you're not mentally tough, you're not going to be able to do the things that are hard when you don't want to do them. You're going to quit when things get painful. You're going to quit when things get uncomfortable. And Make America Mentally Tough Again isn't about some edgy slogan, although it does roll off the tongue quite nicely, doesn't it? It's more of a wake-up call. It's a reminder to stop numbing yourself, to stop blaming everybody else, to stop giving up when things get a little bit challenging. Because right now, more than ever, we need people who lead with resiliency. People who choose discipline over the easy route, the distractions, the social media, all those things that are numbing us, right? We need people who face adversity and they keep moving forward despite that, who use that adversity as a tool to make them stronger, to make them more capable. And this movement is about rebuilding a standard. One built on grit, on ownership, on personal responsibility, and most importantly, on action. And I'm not asking anyone to do something I'm not personally living myself. I'm not that kind of a person. You know, this is my mission, my life. So if you're tired of softness being sold in our society and you're ready to rise up, this episode is for you. If you're not, well then, I really encourage you to listen. Because I truly believe that everybody needs to have an open mind, myself included, right? I can't stand when I'm having a conversation with somebody and they are so closed off to any other idea but themselves that you feel like you're talking to a brick wall. And at that point, is it even worth it? Now, mental toughness is so important to me because I wasn't always mentally tough. People just assume that I was just built this way, but I'm not. I wasn't. I was, in fact, the furthest thing from mentally tough growing up. And the things that made me more mentally tough, and a lot of people might not like this, but all the shit that I went through in my life, all the adversity, all the uncomfortable things, all of the discomfort that I put on myself, but also discomfort that was put on me through life, that's what made me stronger and more resilient. Even though in the moment when I was going through these things, I didn't think that they were going to help me at all. But it's because of the perspective that I got from them. And I'll use a couple of examples. So when I was younger, I was bullied very, very severely throughout my entire childhood, basically. I lived in New York and I was bullied. I moved to North Carolina in 8th grade thinking that, okay, this was my fresh start. I was bullied because I was quiet. I was in my tomboy phase when I moved, so I wasn't really socially accepted. People just never gave me a shot because I was quiet. So when somebody's quiet, when you're in high school or when you're in middle school, you're deemed the weird kid because you're quiet and you do good at school. Even though I wasn't a great student, I was just I had common sense, and I actually tried, kind of, sometimes. But I was bullied a lot. And a lot of that in the moment sucked. It really did. But now it allows me to appreciate so many things so much more. And it really allows me to understand that, like, who gives a shit what anybody else thinks? The only thing that matters in your life is if you're living a life that you can be proud of, if you're living to integrity, if you're living a life that aligns with the core values that you have and you feel good about the things that you're doing with yourself, with your family, with those who matter to you, that is what matters. Growing up, too, as I got into high school, I had to deal with drug addiction in my family. And with drug addiction, you get two different things, right? One group of people is going to come out of a background dealing with drug addiction and is going to become addicted to drugs or deal with some sort of addiction that is toxic in their life. Then you have the other group of people who come out of drug addiction and they don't touch the stuff because they've seen the detriment that it's done to their family, to their life, and they never want to do that to somebody else or to themselves. And that's where me and my brother came from. Sometimes it can be a 50-50 shot. So my mom is blessed to know that both of her children came out of a really bad situation and neither of them went to drugs or alcohol. Now, my brother drinks, but like a normal human being, not like a fucking alcoholic. He really is just into whiskey. He's a whiskey collector. So he's the easiest person to get a gift for. You just buy some whiskey for him and he's good. But for me, I don't touch alcohol at all because I just don't like the feeling of not having control over my body. And that's just a me thing. Like, I just don't like not having control, which is a good and a bad thing, right? Because we can't control everything that happens. So it can be anxiety producing at times. But the point that I'm trying to make here is that resiliency is built through tough situations, whether it's self-inflicted discomfort or discomfort that's inevitably handed to you through life, because we all go through discomfort. It doesn't matter where you come from, what your background is. It doesn't matter how great your childhood was, because I have people who say that too, like, oh, I didn't have a terrible childhood. I didn't have any trauma growing up. Right, but I'm sure you've had hard things happen to you at some point in your life. Maybe they weren't as challenging as going through traumatic childhood, but at the end of the day, who's to say that your trauma isn't as hard as somebody else's? Like, that's just playing trauma wars at that point. And what is even the point of that? I feel like a lot of people in today's society are almost going back and forth like, I've been through more trauma. Like, who can be the biggest victim? And there's nothing prideful about that. So the way I like to look at pain and discomfort and trauma and things like that is not to be ashamed of it, is not to hide from it, is not to throw it on other people, but to almost use it as a weapon, use it as a tool, use it as something to keep you moving forward, and use it as an opportunity for growth, as terrible as they may sound for some people. Because I know that all the things that you've been through in your life are really fucking hard. I get it, because I've been there through a lot of different things. My eating disorder, dealing with a family member's drug addiction, sexual assault, all of these different things. And never once was I in the moment of these things and I was like, oh man, I'm really glad that this is happening. Like, no, that's not how it works. We're traumatized. We don't like those things. But looking back at those things, I wouldn't be the person that I am today without any of those things, because I learned so much through those experiences. And also I learned how strong I am and how much I'm able to do through all that shit. You know, right now I'm pursuing something that I call chasing the unbelievable, which is becoming a competitive professional CrossFit athlete. And I'm an underdog. I'm an underdog for so many different reasons. And I love that. I do, because being an underdog gives me so much more that I can learn from along the journey. I just have to work really fucking hard. And when I think I'm working hard, I have to work even harder, recover harder, eat more, like do all of these things that's super uncomfortable for me. And this journey is teaching me so much about what I'm capable of, and so much about what's possible in life when you really set your mind to something and work your ass off for it. Like, I was the kid back in middle school who was picked last in gym class every single time. I was not an athlete. Like, my one thing that I was kind of good at was in middle school and high school, I was actually good at basketball. We'll say kind of good. But it didn't come from me just showing up and being like, I'm going to play basketball. I would wake up every morning before school and go across the street where we lived in our apartment complex. We had an indoor basketball hoop, and I would just shoot or dribble and do stuff before school when I was in middle school, because I made the decision that I was like, I want to work on this, and then I started to find a love for running. So I kind of put basketball on the back burner, and then I found a passion for fitness and I followed that pursuit. And then I had a terrible eating disorder, which set me back so far. And here I am now, trying to pursue becoming a professional athlete with all the damage that I've done on my body through that long-term eating disorder and through all of the things, the autoimmune, the hypermobility, the double scoliosis, all these things that a lot of people would say, oh, well, I can't do that because of this. I'm looking at it like, why can't I? Like, people run marathons when they have fucking no legs. Why can't I do this? And I think that's a powerful thing for you to take into your own life, is most of us focus on why we can't do something instead of why we can. And that's always a good reminder, is like, there are so many people out there doing unbelievable things that some would deem impossible, but there are people out there fucking doing it. So why can't you do something as simple as stick to your nutrition for a week, right? Now, this message, this Make America Mentally Tough Again message, is so important right now more than ever, because we're living in a time where excuses are louder than discipline and comfort is killing so many people's potential. I mean, right now we're living in a society where Amazon packages are delivered the same day. Like, we can control the climate in our house. If it's hot outside, we can make it as cool as we want inside. And people are literally seeking discomfort through jumping in cold water. I do that. Or doing Spartan races, or doing CrossFit, or doing all these things that get us uncomfortable because we are so comfortable. Now, this Make America Mentally Tough Again mission, it came from all of the things that I kind of already alluded to, all of the struggles that I faced in my past. Recently, the back injury that I've had over the past year, my eating disorder, my doubts, my chronic pain that I've dealt with, all of these things that, again, a lot of people would say, I can't do these things because I have these things. And mental toughness means everything to me. It really does. I really never thought about mental toughness until 2020, when I was managing gyms at the time. And obviously 2020 gyms were shut down. And when the gym was shut down, I made a choice. At the time, I was extremely depressed. I couldn't even look at myself in the mirror. I was getting out of a relationship where I was cheated on, and a previous relationship where I was sexually assaulted. And I was really fucking lost, like really lost. And I distracted myself from all of these things through work. So I was at the gym, literally, my shift was 8 to 8 every day, but I was there at 5 a.m. working out. I was working out on my lunch break. I was just there as much as possible because I didn't want to go home and be alone with my thoughts, because that was dangerous for me. So when the gyms were shut down, I had to make a decision. Like, are you going to continue this deep depression? Are you going to continue feeling sorry for yourself? Or are you going to do something about it? Are you going to take action and do the things that you've always wanted to do? And at the time, one of the things that I wanted to do more than anything was start my own online coaching business. I had always been a trainer. I've been a trainer since I was 18 years old. I'm 30 now. That's terrible to say. But I always wanted to have my own business. Like, I wanted to do those things. I wanted to own a gym one day. I wanted to do a supplement company. I wanted to do like all of these things, but I kept putting them off because I never believed in myself enough. So at the time, 75 Hard had just been introduced. And if you don't know what 75 Hard is, it's a mental toughness program created by Andy Frisella. All around the idea of building grit, building fortitude, building mental toughness and discipline. And I was like, you know what? Why the hell not? Like, I have nothing else in my life right now. I don't even have a job right now because who knows when the gyms are going to reopen. And they closed in March and didn't open again until September. So that was a lot of time for me to fix myself. And that's exactly what I did. And during that time, you were either somebody who fixed yourself and got your shit together and leveled the fuck up, or you were somebody who slacked off and you used that time to do stuff that really didn't help you at all. You ate too much food, you gained the COVID-19, you watched a ton of porn, you did all these stupid things that didn't help you at all and even made you worse. I'm hoping that if you're listening to this, though, that you're one of those people who did something with that time that you had. And if you didn't, we live and we learn, we grow from those things. And that's when mental toughness became something that I loved and that I craved and that I wanted other people to feel. I never felt more confident in who I was and who I was becoming. And I never believed in myself more than when I started to focus on building discipline through doing these 75 hard tasks, regardless of how I felt. Like, not every day did I want to do 2 workouts, especially if one was outside and it was pouring rain out. But those things made me better. And when I finished a run in the pouring rain, I felt like I was unstoppable. And I wanted other people to feel that. And what I started to realize is, like, there is no secret to success. The true secret is building discipline and mental toughness to be able to do the things that you need to do, regardless of how you feel. Mentally tough didn't mean pretending I was okay. It meant showing up regardless of how I felt, because I know how much better that's going to make me. And then earlier this year, I don't even know, I think it was around the time that, like, with the elections and everything, and it was like, make America great again, and somebody else came out with a hat that was like, make America healthy again, and I was like, I like that idea, but what if we made America mentally tough again? And it just, like, clicked, and it sounded good, and I loved it, and immediately I had to do something with it. So the Powerhouse Mentality, what I've realized is that, like, yeah, I started the Powerhouse Mentality podcast back in 2021 before I initially came out with the Make America Mentally Tough Again idea. But that's been the mission all along. I've been on this podcast talking to you guys, trying to make you mentally tough, trying to help you guys become a better version of yourselves, whether that be through nutrition, through training, through mindset, through telling stories, through sharing other people's stories. And that's what the brand is all about. And the core values of the brand really reinforce Make America Mentally Tough Again. Never stop learning, keeping the commitments that you make to yourself, seeking intentional discomfort. All 3 of those things literally align with the idea of making America mentally tough again. Now, what does mental toughness actually mean? Because I feel like that idea is thrown around and not a lot of people even have an understanding or a grip to what being mentally tough actually means. Now, being mentally tough isn't just about lifting heavy in the gym and gritting out all that stuff, but it's about getting out of bed when life sucks. It's about saying no to your excuses when nobody's watching. It's about, like, me in the garage every day when I am hurting and nobody's in the garage. Nobody would know if I finished all 10 rounds or if I stopped at 8, but I keep going anyway because I know that that's what makes me better. It's about choosing the hard thing when the easy way is right in front of you and it looks so beautiful and nice. Mental toughness is the ability to stay focused, disciplined, and resilient when things get hard, because they will. Especially when motivation fades, fear creeps in, and discomfort is screaming at you. It's choosing to do what needs to be done regardless of how you feel. It's pushing forward when it would be easier to just quit. It's staying committed to your standard even when no one's watching, having integrity for self, setting the standard, holding the standard, regardless of how you feel. Mental toughness isn't about being fearless, though. A lot of people think that. They think, oh, well, I'm afraid, so I can't be mentally tough. No. Mental toughness isn't about being fearless. It's about acting with courage, discipline, and clarity in spite of fear. It's about doing it with shaking hands. And this matters so much for America right now. Too many people are waiting for motivation. Too many people are outsourcing their power and blaming other people. This movement is about reclaiming your life, physically, mentally, spiritually, all of those things. Mental toughness matters right now for America because we're living in a time where comfort, convenience, and instant gratification are the norm. They're expected, and it's making us soft. We're quick to avoid hard conversations. We quit when things don't go our way. We blame other people or other circumstances instead of owning our actions, and we seek dopamine hits over delayed results. And that's a problem because that mindset bleeds into everything: our health, our relationships, our work ethic, and our ability to handle adversity. Adversity is going to happen in your life, and you need to be able to handle it. Mental toughness is the medicine for this. It's the fix. It's the call to take ownership, to lead yourself before expecting others to lead you, taking action, to stop waiting for motivation, and to start building discipline. If more people embraced this, we'd see less entitlement, more work ethic, less people complaining, less excuse making, and more responsibility, less fragile people, and more strong, resilient people. Because the truth is, a mentally tough population builds a stronger country. One that's not just physically fit, but emotionally resilient, capable of handling all of the chaos that life is going to throw at you, and committed to do hard things on purpose. This is for all of you, I bet. The athlete who's been doubted, the coach who's poured into others while forgetting themselves, the parent who's done the same, the everyday person who knows they're built for more but keeps getting in their own way because they don't believe in themselves enough. This movement is for the ones who don't need their hand held. They just need a reminder that they're not alone in the fight. The reality of life is that it's going to be harsh for some of you to understand this, but nobody is coming to save you. You have to make the choice to save yourself. People can guide you, people can give you advice, and you should ask for help. It's dumb not to. But no one can take action for you. As a coach, I can tell my clients to do exactly what they need to do in order to get their goals. But if they don't do anything, if they just sit on their ass all day and they don't take action and they don't take advice, nothing's going to happen. So we live mental toughness by choosing it every single day, especially when it's uncomfortable, inconvenient, or uncertain. So here's what it looks like in real life. I want to break it down into 5 things because I know everybody loves when there's a list. So number 1, do hard things on purpose, right? One of the core values of the Powerhouse Mentality is seek intentional discomfort. So you want to do these things not because it's easy, but because it builds grit. Cold showers, cold plunges, early alarms, tough workouts, hard conversations. You do them to train your mind, not just your body. And I guarantee if you do all those things, you're going to feel better anyway. 2, keep the promises you make to yourself, right? Another core value of the Powerhouse Mentality. Weird how that works. You said you'd track your food. You said you'd train today. You said you'd wake up early. Stop quitting on yourself every single time it gets hard and uncomfortable. Mental toughness is built in the follow-through. Set the standard, hold the standard. Setting the standard is a wish. A wish doesn't produce results. Holding the standard is an action. Action produces change. Number 3, own everything. Take personal responsibility for everything, the good, the bad, the ugly, all of it. The progress, the failures, your mindset. Blaming other people, blaming other circumstances is easy. Ownership is hard, and that's why it's so important to do. Number 4, choose discipline over motivation. Motivation is a feeling. Discipline is a choice. You won't always feel like it. That's the point. Do it anyway. And number 5, stop waiting to feel ready. Mentally tough people take action while they're afraid, remember, take action with shaking hands. When they're uncertain, tired, sore, doubting themselves, waiting for that perfect moment is how you stay stuck. That's just another way for you to procrastinate even more. So living mental toughness means making it something that you just do. Not just what you do once, but what you do every single day, every damn day. Mental toughness is your choice. It's not something you're born with. It's not something that only a few people have. It's something that you build. It's a choice. So this shirt release and the hats that we produced, it's not just a shirt. It's not just a hat. It represents so much more than that. It's a reminder to set the standard and to hold the standard and to change the world. We live mental toughness by choosing it every damn day. Not when it's easy, not when it's convenient, but when it matters the most. So remember, get uncomfortable on purpose. Keep the commitments that you make to yourself. Take personal responsibility for everything, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Don't blame other people. Don't make excuses. Show up with discipline, not waiting to be motivated. And take action even when you don't feel ready. Take that messy action. That's what mental toughness is. It's not a quote. It's not a trend. It's a lifestyle. And if that hits different for you, the Make America Mentally Tough Again shirts just dropped. They're extremely limited. And once they're gone, they are gone. For now. Probably for a while. If you're not in business, understand that these things take time. Especially because I'm not putting out a product that I don't like. So if I create something, understand that it's going to be the best that I can create. And it's also going to take time. So these shirts have been a long time in the making, and I'm so proud of them. They are so beautiful. They are so soft. They are so comfortable. And more than anything, they represent exactly what I wanted them to represent. Make sure you go over to powerhousementality.com. The link will be down below in the show notes. You can get your Make America Mentally Tough Again shirt. You can get your Make America Mentally Tough Again hat. And you can wear that shit with pride every single day, knowing that you're choosing mental toughness. So go out today and do one thing that's going to take you one step closer to where you want to be.